be talking about the craziest internet computer ecosystem news. We're also going to touch on a little bit of FTX drama. Really, I know everybody's getting sick and tired of hearing about it, but at the end, I just kind of want to show you guys an inside scoop of what exactly these projects were going through when they would get destroyed by FTX Alameda. I mean, there's so much crazy stuff, but yeah, internet computer ecosystem news. We're talking about this shirt, which is pretty sweet after Ludo announced that Pineapple Punks holders have all the licensing rights and things like that if they are holding the NFT. What did I do? Well, I went out and got a couple shirts made just to kind of test the waters. Pretty sick, right? I'm digging this, right? So this is sick. I mean, this is a sick shirt. I like this. I own this NFT. As I'm walking around, it'll give me the opportunity when people ask what the shirt's about to tell them about internet computer, stuff like that. So, I mean, you know what? I'm a little fired up today, folks. I am fired up. I don't know what it is, but let's get into this. So welcome back to the channel, everyone. I hope you're having a beautiful day wherever you're at in the world. We got this tweet out of CZ, and I was kind of talking about this exact same thing like a week and a half ago, folks. I need you guys to understand this. Some, including me, will say this will set the industry back a few years, but thinking about it, this is natural. There will be failures with progress. Happened in regulated TradeFi in 2008 after 70 years of development. The industry will recover quickly and become stronger. People are looking at the way FTX Alameda research fell, and they're looking at that with compassion, and they are looking at that in the lens of what happened was very bad for crypto. I'd like to argue once again the opposite. Just like CZ says, I think that number one, we eradicated a very rare cancer. Think of it as cancer. Think of eradicating a very rare cancer in the human body. Okay. Now imagine catching that cancer at a very early stage. This is exactly the same thing that happened with this whole FTX Sam Bankman and Alameda research thing, folks. We caught onto a cancer very early and we got rid of it. It's gone for now. It could come back. We need to stay on guard with this stuff. In fact, I think this was an extremely bullish thing for the markets. I just don't know how anyone could think that this was bad, right? It looks bad from a regulatory standpoint. Oh, this looks like a mess over in the crypto industry. We're regulating it just fine. This is natural selection, and it reminds me of that one guy drawing on that marker board. You know, the more you blank, the more you find out. Exactly what happened here. So we found out a lot. And we got a tweet out of Dominic Williams today. Mano says in 1 week, ICP smart contracts will start receiving and sending Bitcoin on Bitcoin and creating Ethereum transactions on Ethereum. Boom. This was a brilliant move by Dfinity to launch both of these unique features side by side, right? This is going to make some waves, for sure. The fact that now you can control Bitcoin on its native chain from the internet computer, now that you can control Ethereum on its native chain from the internet computer, is quite impressive. I'm bullish on it, right? Big time. So this is great. This is great. I don't know what else to say. Sears, this is a Twitter-esque platform. Allows you to gamble, bet on world markets, things like that. It's great. In fact, I think it needs to be appreciated more. I'm not sponsoring Sears. I don't have any relationship other than I did a couple videos on their platform early on. Never received any compensation or anything like that. I like the project, and I'm telling you guys, do your own research on everything, obviously, right? But they are up on crowdfund NFT. Several options for people to support Sears to make the platform better. You guys can check this out. I will throw a link to this in the description in the pinned comment. My whole point on all of this is that, maybe throw them a bone of 10 ICP if you can afford it and aren't expecting much in return. But, if you can help them, help them. I will probably throw down at least 10. I've got to look into it a little bit more. Icy Dinos. I can't believe I missed this November 1st tweet, but really, it just didn't show up in my feed. And when it comes down to Icy Dinos, I do hold one. Maybe I hold a couple Icy Dinos. Bought them a long time ago. Now, they are showing some pretty sexy screenshots, folks, of this game. And I'm kind of interested in seeing how this all works. So I'm going to try to reach out to Icy Dinos and see if maybe we can whip up a cool little video on the game, things like that. So I don't know if this is like some sort of survival game where you fight other people as like a flood comes in and whoever wins. I have no idea. Next up is that interview, folks. And I will also throw a link to this full interview in the pinned comment and description, because it's important that you hear, if you guys want the entire thing, and what FTX Alameda Research and Sam Bankman put this poor project New Genesis through. They had like 10, 12 years of R&D behind their AI software and their application. It was nuts. And really, FTX did everything in their power alongside Alameda to absolutely destroy New Genesis. It was insane. Let's just play this. It's a minute long. Big shout out to BitBoy Crypto. I will link his channel in the description and pinned comment along this interview. But let's check this out.
And they did things very. You've got to see how we did it. You got to see how we did it, because they're used to people being corrupt, right?
Yeah.
So they offered us, the moment we went to them and they gave us an offer of close to $1 million Australian straight away. They don't know our losses. They think we're just a company. And then $600,000 US was offered to us as hush money, but we had to sign that we wouldn't be discussing this again. This is the first offer. You should see what I asked for. No. You got to see what I demanded. And at the end, they realized we were playing them, because by the final email, when they wanted to go to arbitration, they're saying, listen, we'll give you guys whatever you want. Basically in the email, look, you'll leave happy. And we asked for everything. I mean, I was going to ask for a super yacht. That was the next thing I was going to ask them for. Because when we realized what this was, we go, shit, forget about Newcoin. This is the whole market. Yeah. If these guys can do it, that means everyone else can do it. If these guys are creating synthetic Newcoin, because right now, this is where it becomes very interesting. This is finished. It's over, it's done. We're asking for our liquidity back. And this is when I say we decided not to, we negotiated to get evidence, right? You've just got to understand that. But this was much bigger than one single company. This became adamant that this was a sophisticated arena which was being utilized to make, I'm talking about the average person. I mean, who was losing money? The average person that was actually putting their money into crypto.
And really, this whole interview that happened between BitBoy and Hussein, it was just mind-boggling. But you guys heard the mention of creating synthetic tokens. This is exactly up the FTX playbook. Or it's exactly out of the playbook. Excuse me. We know this because when I was telling everybody, hey, guess what? FTX is creating perpetual futures trading early on Internet Computer 4 days before the damn thing even launched. We've got a problem. They are creating fake coins. And they did the same thing to Ronin Network, Axie Infinity. Same thing. They created synthetic tokens 26 days before Ronin Network's token launch. And then from the time they created that synthetic token to the time it launched, perpetual futures had degraded 50%. Once the token launched, the spot price of Ronin token declined another 50% in a single week. So they wisened up after the Internet Computer token launch because they realized that the more volume and the more momentum behind the perpetual futures, perp, the worse outcome it would be for their target. And man, so that's nuts, folks. Let's talk about the markets. I'm done talking about this. Yeah, here we go. We got this guy, Dylan LeClaire. I just thought this was an interesting visual, right? I like these visual. I'm a very visual person. I like to see this type of graph, really. Looks like this came off Glassnode. I might have to check into that. Whenever we see these nasty, nasty little dips down, this usually signals the end of the bear market. You can kind of see that these lows are kind of getting higher over time. And really, we are very close, in my opinion, to the bottom. I hope so, right? Crypto bubbles. Man, everything's green. Everything's green. I like that. You know what? I like to see this. I like to see recovery. Hopefully this continues on. ICP up about almost 3%, 4%. That's good to see. Litecoin has had an impressive rally the last few days from 66 up to 81. I had a bag of Litecoin that I sold the other day, like 2 weeks ago, and I've got seller's regret. I do. Bitcoin, folks, this is just another thing that I want to share with you guys, right? When we look at the way the market moves, I want it, and I've talked about this a lot. Really, I pay attention to like 3 different moving averages: the 50, the 200, and then the 730-day moving average. I'm thinking that I might have to change that up to like a 750. Long story short, whenever we see prices dip underneath this thin green line here, I'm just going to go ahead and make this thin little green line a little thicker so you guys can see it easier. Whenever price has been historically underneath this green line, it's been a pretty nice opportunity. Historically speaking, this is not financial or trading advice. I want you guys to understand that right now. Not financial trading advice. But really, when it comes down to it, historically speaking, we know that this is a halfway decent time to accumulate crypto, right? Because we can look back and see. We saw the price, boom, dip under that 730. It was the bear market. What did we see after the 2017 rally? Well, we saw prices dip below the 730, right? Here we go. Was a great time to accumulate some crypto. Again, coronavirus crash. It was a great time to accumulate some crypto. And I was on the fence about buying Bitcoin at like 4,000, 5,000 at that time. I was just so unsure. I didn't. But we are we are far below the 730-day moving average right now. And it's a little bit different this time, right? That's what everybody was saying. Everything's different. But hopefully history repeats itself and we see a very nice rebound. I've been kind of talking about this falling wedge really for the last couple weeks that is somewhat brewing. I do think that we will continue to play into this. I think that we may, in fact, see these markets. This almost looks like a symmetrical triangle squeeze here on the weekly. Let's just scoot over to the daily to confirm this. Bear with me 1 second. Kind of tough to tell. But you can see how price action is playing ball very well within this falling wedge. So I'm hoping price action can stay within this falling wedge. And I'm hoping, I'm okay with Bitcoin going down. I want that to be known. But if we start breaking extremely bullish patterns, just like this one, over a long time frame, a long period of time, we got some issues, right? So with that said, folks, I'm hoping that like 15.3 is the bottom, somewhere in there, and I'm hoping we can get a nice rebound through this Ichimoku cloud. Like I've been kind of talking about, we got this thin section of the Ichi cloud that we need to get through. Let's look at ICP, right? Here's ICP. This is some leftover work from maybe yesterday's show. Let's check this out and see how I'm doing. Really, when it comes down to it, We've got this symmetrical triangle squeeze. People are selling within, expectation. But ICP is trading at $3.83, folks. So, I mean, ICP, like I was saying, I'm hoping we get a break at least to come up and test this 50 moving average somewhere in here. I do think that would be a breath of fresh air for the most part. I'm just going to go ahead and clear this. And it does look like there may be. Let me just throw down some time sequence, and we're going to look at some potential pivot point dates, times, stuff like that. So we're going to measure this swing high down to this swing low. Looks good. In your phones, I want you guys to go. Let's just switch this over to a 4-hour chart. I always like the 4-hour chart the most when it comes to making these predictions, because then I get a little bit of breather room. There we go, right about here. Where do we draw this? I like right about here. So November 28th, within 4 hours of 6 a.m. Mark your calendars. There might be some increased volatility within 4 hours of that time frame on the ICP token. So really, folks, it is what it is. I'm hoping that we can kind of crest up and maybe touch on that $4.80 level somewhere in there on that daily chart. It'd be nice to retest this 50 moving average, to say the least. So big shout out to everyone. Hope you guys all have a wonderful day wherever you're at in the world. Again, watch the end screens. I will link the video to BitBoy Crypto's interview with Hussein, and I will also throw up a link to Sears in the description and pinned comment. We'll see you guys all in the next video.